All right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Clem off racing his Protoss as he does to avoid the TVT. And he's playing against a BYUN that's doing a totally normal build, guys. It is, of course, the playoffs. It is the losers bracket. Both of these players came through a second seed in their groups. But, of course, it's a totally normal build that BYUN's doing. This SCV says, why are you scouting my totally normal build, Probe? I'm definitely not having a buddy, Gary, on the other side of the map, building a proxy barracks. BYUN, he's going for a cheeky build, and I think it's going to be Marauders from that proxy. Marine comes out first. Doesn't quite get the probe. If he got the probe, it would have been good. And look at that, guys. He affords the command center. How do you afford a command center? You skip the orbital. It is a nasty build order, disguising the fact that he's gone for the proxy barracks with the Marauders. Dude, the camera just looked there. Clem's camera just looked down here on the bottom side of the map. Is he queuing a scout there? Maybe, no, I think he was just scrolling his camera location. He's not aware of it. He's going for a Zealot Adept pressure. Now, the Zealot Adept pressure is going to cause a lot of problems for just this Marine reactor opening, potentially. But the problem is, if you end up sacrificing a Zealot Adept into the Marines and then 2 or 3 Marauders walk in, it could be lights out for Clem here. Clem almost always goes Twilight Council. Twilight Council is especially weak to this build, whereas Stargate can shut it down sometimes because you get a Stargate. Zealot coming in against that Marine right now. Marine trying to pull back. 2 more Marines coming down. 5, 6 SCVs. Great respect. Clem realizing you got to show respect against this Zealot pressure. He's got 2 more Marines about to come out. Oh, sorry, BYUN. Did I just call him Clem? I did. Dude, this is like what I was doing the other day casting Scarlet. Keep calling Clem Terran. In this case, it is BYUN, of course, playing Terran. Marine does survive, but the Adept's here. 3 Marines can take on an Adept pretty easily, but the Adept will get a bit of damage down. 2 Marauders ready to come in right now. BYUN playing a nasty strategy to start this series. I love the preparation in these big best-of-7 series. Players going to be coming in with a lot of prepared strategies. SCV comes in from behind to build a bunker. Going to go straight for the pylon out front. The Marines getting on top of the Adept do some good damage there. That shield battery gets insta-cancelled there, but Clem with the great reactions does manage to cancel in time. Probes trying to come forward. Stalker and Adept hanging out. Shield battery on the natural as well. Probes trying to move out. Focus firing the Marauders where they can. Marauder, will it go down? Oh, good pullbacks for BYUN so far. Clem, though, he's losing a lot of probes, but he's still got a probe advantage, and he has the natural up. But, oh, the Marines, going to be easy pickings for the Adepts. BYUN may be overcommitting there. And where's that next Marauder finally coming out? He's making stim as well on the front. He's got a nice little Marine Marauder contain going on, but as the shield battery comes up, it does feel like Clem may be away from the scariest part. Adept shade out. And BYUN, interestingly, pulling back for that. I thought he might just dive in here saying, hey, 2 Stalkers isn't enough damage, but you got to realize with all these damaged units, he can kill the Marauder, get those 2 low hit point Marines down. Fighting near a shield battery, usually a bad idea. There's still no orbital. Oh, Lord, there's still no orbital, guys. BYUN is insanely committed to this build. He still does not have an orbital command center. These Marines trying to take care of the Adepts. The Adepts take out 2 Marines already. This is excellent damage. Clem really trading so well with his Adept micro. These Marines getting toasted. He's so friggin' clean. Gets another Marine there. That's 3 Marines for nothing. Just shields and hit points going down. Second gate goes down as well. I think BYUN may have had to dive in there and take the risk of losing a lot of his units, but maybe get some damage. It feels like, you know, Sand's running out of the hourglass. He's got an orbital on the natural, but doesn't have one in his main. 2 more Marines are about to go down for 1 Adept. This is excellent trading, and Clem just way too efficient. It started off with him on the units lost back foot, but now he's ahead on the units lost, and he even gets inside the main, sees no orbital, and Clem, I think he realizes just how far ahead he is. He's just got to be ready to pull probes. He's making 2 extra batteries because he knows that basically BYUN is going to stim for the win. He's going to run in, stim, try to click down your batteries and your Stalkers, and this is why there is a maze of buildings being constructed. Clem does have Warp Gate finished. He's already got those 5 Stalkers. As long as he doesn't let the Marauders all focus them at once, which these choke points are going to make it really hard for them to do that, this should be good. Stim finishing right now, and it's go time for BYUN, but with a Sentry and Energy Recharge may be available. 2 Sentries. Shield battery does go down, but he can let that Stim wear off. It's on BYUN to make something happen right now. Clem with some brilliant force fields, but not fighting with his probes, oddly enough. Does lose 1 Stalker. The next Stalker getting healed. 2 Stalkers have gone down. Probes trying to come forward. But remember, there's no healing for this Marine Marauder. This is what we call the drug addict push, guys. And remember, whenever you're fighting a drug addict, they might not feel pain. They may seem incredibly scary. But if you can just put enough space between yourself and them, they will eventually just instantaneously collapse on the ground because they cannot run at that speed, at that adrenaline rate for so long. And that's all Clem had to do, is just hold on for long enough. Sneaky all in. Game 1 for BYUN, but even unscouted, he just could not find the win against Clem's fantastic micro. All right, guys. We've got Team Liquid's Clem in the top right side of the map. Up against BYUN in the bottom left. It's ley lines for map 2. And oh my, is it a gas first? Dude, okay, BYUN has decided you cannot play straight up against Clem. And you know what, guys? I'm kind of regretting not watching the TLMC finals yet. Spoiler alert. Clem played against Cure in that finals. PvT. And he got hammered. And I imagine Cure did some cheesy builds and BYUN's learned from that. Because he's going to go gas first, eBay block this game. Nice build order. A mite predictable. He did this to me on the exact same map, actually, earlier in the week, I think. And then he did it against Hero as well. He's been using this a bit too much. Clem didn't study, though. He did not study BYUN's games in the last week. BYUN's done this almost every TVP he's played on ley lines in the last week, but Clem didn't study it. Otherwise, he would have gone down to scout for it. He doesn't. And he's even going to block the third. He's even ready to block the third. Cybercore goes down. Clem's about to arrive on the natural, and he's going to realize, oh, damn, I can't build my Nexus. He's going to have to go down to the straight line third, which he actually heads to immediately, luckily. If he went to the other third, it would be even more delayed. Nonetheless, over 500 minerals. Very delayed. Ooh. Cybercore coming in, Nexus as well. Probe chasing after the SCV. Ooh, okay, command center on the high ground, very safe. The modern Terrans not giving opportunities for those adepts to come in and deny their expansions while it's building. We do have a no balance mining rule in the chat, guys. You guys can discuss things, but basically it spreads a negative aura when people just want to whine in the chat. So if you are watching live, please respect that rule. Yeah, so there's this crazy thing where StarCraft is like 99% skill. And essentially, people forget that fact sometimes. And don't get me wrong, balance really does affect things, and it's worth having discussions about it. But we try to... people say, well, what's the difference between whining and just discussing things? And I go, well, that's subjective, isn't it? They're like, well, what's the difference? And I go, me and my mods, you'll know the difference when we time you out or warn you for being annoying. That's it. Essentially, if you're being annoying and we don't like it, we'll stop it. And they go, that's so inconsistent. Nah, freedom of speech, And I go... You don't get freedom of speech. This is my Twitch chat. Shut up and quit your whining. We're here because you were whining about balance. Now you're just whining in general. Shut up. Anyways. Reaper gets a probe. Nice move there. Adept comes in as well. Reaper's going to go south looking for more probes. That one's going to go hide in the corner. Shield battery's there as well. Another probe comes out. Dude, BYUN's finding some pickoffs. Ooh, that probe might escape. He didn't micro after it quite as quick as he could have. Oh, still 2 probes. Really nice damage. Battery finally comes in. I do like that Clem got that other probe back to safety. He brought it back in from the south and returned to mining. Minimizing the damage as he goes towards Blink. Second gateway very delayed because of his opening, down at 330. But, I mean, BYUN's being kind of delayed as well. He's going to go Medevac Marine Cyclone. So he's going to go for a Marine Cyclone drop to follow things up. Cyclone good for shutting down the Adepts on the map as well. And the Robo dropping over at the third base. Clem's going to try and just play a very standard game to get out of this hard spot. Marine's coming forward. Oh, here we go! Adept's taking damage. Oh, this is a good catch. Really important momentum shift. That's a big mistake. Clem cannot afford this. Clem cannot afford this mistake. Every unit is so valuable. When you've been forced to take a third like this, there's already a high likelihood of Terran doing an early push. We see a tank there. Look at that. BYUN cancelled an add-on. He wants to keep building medevacs. Reaper does get sniped there by the Stalkers. Cyclone coming forward. Pack of Marines and medevac behind it. Eager goes straight for the main base. Probably the best option, as the third base is kind of the obvious target. Sometimes going towards the main base where that production is. Some very valuable pylon snipes. Battery goes down for Clem, though. Takes 30 seconds to build, but it should finish about the time these units arrive. Stalker barely doesn't see these guys. Liberator comes in. It's tank into Lib. Non-stop Marine production. BYUN is playing hyper-aggressive right now. He does not want to give Clem room to breathe. He realizes that Clem is basically Max Pax light in this matchup. An incredibly defensive, macro-oriented player. The longer you give him to work his defender's advantage, the scarier he is to play. But if you get in his face, you can catch him off guard. 5 probes go down, a Stalker goes down. But now that the battery's up, along with those Stalkers, the tail end of this fight is grossly favored towards Clem. 7 probes, I think, is enough damage along with the Stalker kill to make it worthwhile for BYUN. But I do worry that it's still even workers. It seems like you're gearing up for an all-in follow-up push, and you've not got that many units. I think you have to turtle now. Does have a good wall off though. Very safe tank positioning. If he builds an add-on on this barracks, it can get killed from the low ground by Stalkers. So if he tries to make stim up there, I'm a little worried about it. Liberator sneaking up the top. How many gateways? 3 gateway blink. Charge starts up. Third Nexus is on the way. Clem getting the Stalkers back in front. And I think with that pylon, remember, pylons have so much vision. Their vision has been buffed, I believe, twice in the last year and a half of StarCraft 2. So pylons now, kind of like telescopes. They can see that Liberator coming in from very far away. It's the light sensor tower, the pylon in 2025. Ooh, that tank positioning's cute. Yeah, if he blinks in there, he's going to take a fair bit of damage. That Observer sees it. I don't think Clem wants to risk it, though. Oh, there's a tank there as well. Clem not able to find any damage, loses a Stalker. BYUN locked down tight. BYUN does go for combat shields before stim, which is highly unusual. He also just scanned to take out the Observer. 3 barracks pumping here. Reactor going on that starport. That engineering base started +1 behind the natural. 4 gases, 2 full mineral lines. Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I know I sound a bit excited. I'm screaming into my microphone, but Psystorm? Clem never opens Psystorm first. This is very rare for him. But it's a change-up that could be really good. I think BYUN has a very set idea about how Clem's going to play this series. He's been very consistent in doing the same sort of thing over and over again. If he can get out of Prism, 4 High Templar, 5 High Templar, he could do very well. Storm is really good at ambushing these sorts of pushes, but it's still about a minute away. And only 3 Stalkers, not even enough to one-shot a Marine right now, and Immortal starting up. Remember, Clem did take a fair bit of damage and delays early. This push is moving out. The problem is stim. Going combat shields before stim, I think, was a huge mistake. That stim is still about 60 seconds from finishing now, which means 8 minutes 15 is when it's going to finish. Oh, he's going to see... Doesn't see the High Templar. Does not see the High Templar. Clem's going to hide it. You do not want to let him see the High Templar. You want to hide them till the last second. Barely glimpsed one then. Not sure if BYUN noticed it. BYUN's going to need to be worried. Storm's about to finish. Oh, here we go. The bio. He doesn't have stim. Please get the Marauders in front and pre-spread. BYUN, if you do not pre-split against Storm without stim being ready, you're not going to be able to dodge. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. But BYUN almost never pre-splits. He loves to keep his bio in a bit of a ball. It does cost him a little bit. Did he just kill his own Marauder, guys? I don't know. Or maybe that was just a delayed death graphic. It's like in the main base, Liberator came in, got 7 probes there. Stalkers do warp in to deal with it. Apologies for the bad observing today, guys. Bio tank coming on forwards. High Templar, Zealot, Stalker trying to hang on. The Widowmine shot does land. Tank's getting some good shots off, but no stim being ready. A disaster for BYUN, who also didn't rally his army to the front. 4 medevacs chilling at home. I do think BYUN's mis-executed this attack. Maybe he was expecting a Prism to come in or something like that, but it feels like the combat shields before stim combined with the lack of reinforce. I mean, he should have just killed Clem here. As it is, he still might be able to. He's still got a lot of stuff. Energy recharge, though. Oh, you got to watch out for those energy recharge storms. BYUN just eats that one to the face right now. BYUN looks a little stressed on the camera. I think he realizes that this game is not as clean as it maybe could have been. He had a good start. He's got some good momentum, but he's got to kind of just chill out, make sure he hits his fundamentals. You can see Clem plays PvT in this way where it feels like even when he's got emotion on his face, what he does with his units seems calm and collected. There is this, like, I always point out that, like, the Max Packs way of playing PvT is you can look like you're on the verge of dying and start a 4th base while defending the push. And you can just try to have, you have this, like, this otherworldly faith in your ability to utilize defender's advantage and to hang on and fight back from behind. And that's something that I think Clem shows really well in this matchup, whereas BYUN gets a bit frantic, gets a bit all in. He's already down a game in this series, so he realizes how important game 2 is. If you go down 2 games in a best of 7, it becomes such a hard road to catch up. Nice Widowmine hit there. The Stalker's blink forward, focusing down one of the medevacs already. Widowmine's, of course, going to be very good, though, at disincentivizing the Zealot chase, but the Storm, it's the High Templars and the Prism. He has to just run. You cannot fight as BYUN. You have to just run. If you stand and fight even a bit, you're in trouble. And look at that. His Marauder's very low on life. Gets another Stalker, but Storm does land on the medevacs, picks up, saves some of these units, and pulls back. He's got more units coming down. 5 medevacs in total are out, but they're not healed up right now. Clem's on the front. Clem wants to take him down. 4th Nexus is there. He's got a medevac with 2 mines in the back. Does BYUN. He's going to try to send that in, but Storms on the workers. SCVs fighting Zealots and eating Storms. Not good for BYUN. Then again, if he can break through to the High Templar, it could be big. The medevac with the Widowmines does get F2'd home in the panic, and that is unfortunate because Widowmines landing in these mineral lines would be excellent way of punishing Clem, focusing so hard on the front. EMP lands all over the High Templar, the Archon, and the Zealots. Widowmine's gonna go boom boom. Whoa! 11 probes go down. tying up the worker count. BYUN has a big supply advantage right now, but his bio is overstimmed. It's very damaged. Vikings were looking for the Prism, unable to find it. The Prism's already rotated into the main base. CLEM may be down in supply, but he's one step ahead. He's running circles around a BYUN, who's had a few nightmares with Warp Prisms this week. And this one, not going to be any different. The Vikings not chasing after it. He's so worried about the attack on the front. He's a little paranoid. The Widowmine drop does finally get taken down. It was trying to redrop there. Great handling by CLEM on the multitask. 7 more SCVs going down. You almost never want to fight with SCVs against these Zealots. But there we go. He gets there with the Marine Marauder this time. CLEM with a quick shift click onto the SCVs. He's going to grab at least 1. Gets himself 3 extra SCV kills. Bringing our totals up to 22 workers killed by CLEM. 36 killed by BYUN though. So both sides really taking massive amounts of damage, hey? CLEM, 61 probes. He's got +2 attack, though, and Colossus now starting. Colossus plus Storm combined is very powerful. A lot of players forget to keep mixing in High Templar after this stage in the game once they start building Colossus. But if he keeps High Templar in the Prism, look at that Ambush Storm. He's looking for the Ambush Storm from the high ground. He's going to go for it. Nice Storm drop. EMP there, scared him back, though. Zealots run into the third. The famous Max Pax double Zealot harass where he just clicks 2 Zealots in. But look at that. Nice Marine Marauder drop on the north. 4th base takes big damage. I'd love to see that rotate into the main base. Oh, he tries to go forwards, but he's going to lose so many of these Marauders. That is a very expensive drop. Not worth it for BYUN. 8 probes is definitely not worth that. He bled out a lot of units, and now the Colossus are coming in. No extended thermal ads. Nice EMP to lead the charge. I just don't think there's enough bio to get through this, especially with the Warp Prism dropping another Storm into the battle. BYUN has to run away. This army's way too bruised. He cannot take this fight. He's trying to force a fight right now, but it's a losing battle. I think CLEM would love you to keep attacking there, and BYUN wisely disengages. He's dancing on the edge of overcommitting the entire time. Keep in mind, guys, where's the second eBay? Where's the armory? This is not a long-term base. There's no 4th command center. There's no second eBay. There's no armory. BYUN is playing old school, I must kill you style. He doesn't want to give CLEM time to recover, but by doing so, the fact that he hasn't denied the 4th is a huge problem for him. He needs to pre-spread. He's not pre-spread against Storm Colossus. He's not pre-spread. Oh, the Storm drop is absolutely deadly. BYUN taking big hits there. The Vikings trying to deal with the Colossus, accidentally loading into the medevac with 2 of those Marauders, but he is outgunned and overrun. CLEM with an excellent fight. The Colossus barely survives, and BYUN will throw in the towel at the 13-minute mark of Game 2. All right, guys, BYUN on the right side, and oh, he's going for a proxy, but he gets scouted. CLEM coming down in this direction, and I think BYUN's proxy is just not going to happen now. He's just going to say, okay, I'll just scout. He just did the old Abe Simpson. He just came in, put his hat on the rack, and then took it off and immediately walked out after seeing Bart working the front desk. Naughty, naughty SCV there. The probe just judging him silently. Barracks and a gas behind it. BYUN will be behind a little bit on the mining. Wanted to get a bit of momentum here. I'm not sure if he wanted to go for a sneaky eBay block, proxy barracks, or what it was. CLEM going to be happy that he scouted out in that direction. You know, it's funny because historically, if your proxy gets scouted, it's meant to be really bad for Terran. But I've noticed Terran has a very high win rate when Protoss scouts their proxy and they have to kind of cancel it and play a weird game. I think there's just been a thing where Terran players, sometimes when they go, well, this is a terrible start, I don't expect to win, sometimes they get just a little bit more creative and they actually play a bit more freestyle and find advantages they don't normally find. Sometimes the opponent also feels a bit too confident, thinking, oh, your barracks got delayed or whatever, right? In this case, the barracks never even got started. It never even got cancelled. So it's just like, oh, you wasted some scouting time, essentially. It's really not a big deal. Command Center into Tech Lab. Ah, my least favorite build order. Anyone who's a regular watcher of my channel knows I hate the Marauder opening. I think it's garbage. But all the top players insist that it's good to mix in there. So I understand, basically, if you catch the first Adept with the Concussive, it can be nice. But to me, delaying the reactor so long keeps you so low on units. You're very vulnerable against things like Stargate with this build as well. Luckily, CLEM has literally never built a Stargate in this matchup in his entire life. He knows one build and one build only. It's Twilight Council and Blink. And there is so little room for error with a lot of Blink builds against a lot of Terran aggression. But CLEM is just like, nope, I want to master this one build. I don't care if you know what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm predictable. I'm going to do it. Ah, and it's concussive into 3 racks as well. Okay, cool. Funky build order. If this Adept lets this Shade finish and then the Marauders catch it with concussive, it could be nice. If you don't get the Adept, I think it's a legit awful build. But hey, he gets it. And as long as he stutter steps forward, there should be no escape. Pig, what is this electric fence? This is a worker-only path, guys, on Talisman. You can mine those minerals open. They're about 60 minerals each or so, 70 minerals. But this, you can never squeeze anything except workers through that. It's a unique mechanic added in by some very creative map makers. Recently, it is now allowed, I believe, on the ladder. Yet for some reason, we've never actually put maps with that mechanic into the ladder. So it allows workers to go in and out, but no other unit can utilize it. It's just a really cool mechanic. So you can create like semi-island maps where workers can still go out and expand and proxy and build things, but your army can't until they break down rocks or they go through a different area of the map, like here on Talisman. So Talisman's kind of cool because this is basically, you've got these map makers with these interesting creative ideas. And what they're saying is, well, they're never going to get on ladder because everyone just wants the most conservative and normal, boring stuff ever in StarCraft. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a map like this that's relatively normal, very familiar, and we'll just add a little worker-only path with just like a little 4 gold mineral base down here, but then it's kind of cut off by rocks, so it's hard to defend. So it's kind of like, you know, Patches, who I believe is the map maker for this, just being a bit clever, getting in a version of the map that's a bit different, and goes, oh, it's double reactor. It's the Gumiho build. It's double reactor. Oh, my lord. This gets you a crazy amount of Marines early. But Marauders are kind of more important against Stalkers unless you can catch them from behind with half your Marines. He will start combat shields just a second before Stimpack finishes. Very nicely done. And oh my lord, Clem's playing 4-gas Storm again. He's going Blink into Storm again. Wow, this is so cool. Clem embracing the Storm. Storm is a really good style. And like I said, BYUN refuses to pre-split his units. He likes to stutter step around in a ball. And it does get him in trouble against Storm drop styles. Sometimes it pays off, right, when he dodges perfectly. But if he makes it's high risk, high reward. And I think playing that game of Micro Chicken against Clem, even for BYUN, used to be the best Micro player in the world. I think BYUN lost that title to Clem. Still very good with his Micro. Clem's just a little more consistent and clean. BYUN's a little more panicky with his play. 3 Rex has been spotted. The Mass Marine's been spotted. He at least snipes the Observer, but there's another one coming behind it. Storm's on the way. Immortal comes in as well. I used to always say that basically, you know, Raynor was just like the young version of Dark. Clem is the young version of BYUN. I see them as kind of kindred spirits in play style. And it's kind of cool whenever you see them play. It's weird because I think their PvT matchups were so fun for so long, and to see Clem swap to Protoss has really changed just the flow of how they play against each other. Starport is on the way now, but BYUN kind of turtled up, kind of stuck on 2 base, unable to move out. Everything being seen. There's an Observer there, Stalker's out front. I mean, luckily for him, Clem doesn't have a 3rd base, so at least, you know, he's not getting ahead, but BYUN doesn't know this. In BYUN's mind, there's a 3rd base mining right now. There's Colossus starting to build. He doesn't realize that it's actually Storm. And the first storms are the most dangerous storms. The ones where the Terran doesn't know that Psystorm exists, and suddenly a Warp Prism unloads some High Templar, they insta-storm your army while it's still clumped up. That's where it gets problematic. Another scan goes down on the Observers. Clem actually has the best Observer spotting and invisible spotting eyeballs in the entire world. I once cast a series of him where he saw, I think, like 12 Observers in one game versus Max Pax on Ancient Cistern. And I asked Max Pax about it afterwards. I was like, dude, that was crazy, right? And Max Pax was like, I've never seen somebody scan this well before. Like, this was ridiculous. and I asked BYUN, I was like, do you have any graphic settings? He's like, no, I just look for them. Oh, but he didn't look for that. Oh, the Storm drop from behind. 15 workers come in. Oh, no. Oh, no. The Bio coming forward right now. He's all in. He's pretty darn all in after losing those workers. Storm's on the front. He's going to have to pre-split. He's going to have to pre-split. Oh, gosh. Storms. Good pre-splitty. Yeah, good spready. Good arc. Good arc. But he can't chase too hard. He can't chase too hard. BYUN the crazy YOLO. Remember, energy recharge is always available as well. You cannot force the issue up that ramp, mate. BYUN trying to force his way up a ramp like a savage. He's got to go for the 3rd base, get the robo and pull away. He's trying to hold this position and bait the storms out, but Clem is so good with that micro, man. Clem gets the storm drop and then also is defending the army. He's still up 12 workers right now. If you stim again, your army is so low. He goes for the prism, but he eats a giant storm. Clem's micro so good. Oh my lord. Clem all over BYUN's push. The supply is still a little dangerous. I think Clem has to be careful, has to play safe. Widowmine goes down to the Observer. Observer goes down to the Widowmine, I should say. Ooh, gets a High Templar. Nice targeting with the Widowmine. BYUN playing nifty. But another Storm gets a few Marines, and you can see just how damaged the Bio is. The Archon picking up into the Prism. Clem was trying to bait the Widowmine shot there, getting a bit too fancy. The Archon gets picked off. Zealots come forward, taking another Widowmine to the face. BYUN just doesn't have the numbers. The Immortals and the Stalkers alone can fight this head-to-head. Clem has looked unstoppable in PvT. He lost one best of 3 competitively to Spirit. He lost a narrow, close grand finals to Gumiho at Home Story Cup. And last weekend in the TLMC was his 3rd ever competitive series loss with PvT in the last 6 months for Clem. I thought it might be the start of him having an arc where he moves away from Protoss. He says, oh, I just don't have it. I'm going to go back to Terran. But Clem sticking with Protoss here in PiGFest, and he's playing excellent StarCraft right now. BYUN not finding any purchase in this game. His 3rd Command Center and 4th and 5th barracks are going to go up behind it. But he's going to need Clem to make some big oopsies to get back in this game. Gonna give the mods the go-ahead to time out the whiners in the chat, guys. Guys, we do have a no balance wine story rule in this chat, so ease off. High Templar, Immortal, Storm Drop moving around. We've got the Bio running up there as well. I mean, Marauder rotating in on this base. BYUN's supply is dangerous. It's just all the tech is there for Clem, so like I said, needs to be a big whoopsie. BYUN needs perfect engagements. Can't let these units get chipped away at. A few Marines and Medevacs, Widowmine, do go down. It's just such a scary army. I mean, yes, the upgrades are very late, but it doesn't matter if your upgrades are late. If you've got a 4th base and Colossus and Storm, do you really need that? No, not really. Not against the Terran who's only now floating his 3rd out. The rocks do get taken down over here. BYUN's going to try to secure the 3rd, and that's going to be like a bullseye target there for Clem, where he says, hey, that's my target. Let's go for it. Oh, the Bio's so clumped. Oh, no. The Bio's so clumped for BYUN, trying to do reactive spreadies. I just don't think cuts it against someone as good with their Storm Drop micro and micro in general as Clem is. Oh, man. I mean, it's hard without Libs, without Vikings to zone the Warp Prism. But I think you just need to be insanely well spread there to deal with that. And, of course, the numbers were already incredibly bad. Clem up 3-0, dominating BYUN so far in this best of 7. All right, guys, going into potentially the final game. Is Clem gonna get a clean sweep? I mean, he's been looking really good lately. BYUN's been back on the grind, but, you know, I did hear whispers that after dropping a map to a washed-up commentator earlier this week, BYUN's mental was a little shook. I think this is the hype builder. I think this is honestly what BYUN's gonna do. I think BYUN right now, he's trying to let Clem get some momentum to trick him into thinking he's good with Protoss. Clem's gonna be like, oh, I'm so good, look at me, Team Liquid, oh. Meanwhile, the Shopify, I guess are they Shopify Rebels now, not Rebellion? Now that they did their like whole big team merger, I think they're technically the Rebels now. I'm still used to calling them the Shopify Rebellions. BYUN. I mean, now he's gonna bring out the real guns. You know, before he was using the play ammo, he was using the silly stuff. No supply blocks, constant Marine production, non-stop rallying, aggro in the face. And honestly, if we think about it, what's the best way to beat Storm? It's to sneak a double drop into their back of their main base and stim into their main mineral line while you shove their 3rd. That's historically the best way, the easiest, like the most tried, true, tested way to take down Storm openings is just to sneak a drop in their base. I know it sounds silly, but the number of games we've seen from that. What? Oh my gosh, it's a proxy 2nd gate. Clem gonna mix in some old school aggro. I have not seen this build work in a long time. We'll see if he can pull it off. He's going to go for a proxy 2nd gateway and then a Cybercore at home. So he's going to build a Cybercore, then a Zealot. And the way this works is you rally Adepts from home because they can shade across the map very quickly, and Stalkers from the front. And you look to cancel that command center. It'll be a big problem, though, if BYUN stays on the high ground. BYUN building a Marine right now. No scouting for BYUN. BYUN basically scouts 1 in 316 games, guys. Pre-Reaper. BYUN and scouting are 2 antithetical things. They cannot exist together. They're like water and oil. He'll scout with army, never with worker. Unless he's proxying you. But look at that. Probe was annoying, so he goes command center on the high ground, and that's actually really good for BYUN. That's really good for BYUN. Gets the probe kill as well. And no Zealot. Interesting. So we should... Whoa, he's going to go double Stalker because he realized the depths aren't going to do much to probe the ramp. Oh my lord. Guys, remember we watched a video just before of Clem talking about how he learnt StarCraft as well as a bunch of the other players. Clem referenced learning the basics from, you know, guys like, you know, French YouTubers like Anos and a few other people. I can't remember who it was. There was a French YouTuber who had a 2-Stalker opening as his like beginner PvX opening. Like open 2-gate Stalker and go to a pressure and win every game with like a 6-Stalker pressure. And it was legit like ruining everyone up to Platinum League. And it's so funny because you so rarely see this at a high level, but he's realized, well, if you've got a CC on the high ground, I've got to just build up, wait for you to move out, and take advantage. BYUN slowing down, he's going 3 command center. Oh no, he's doing the greediest build in the book against the friggin' proxy gate. He has no idea. Look, he thinks an Adept's going to come in, and he wants to come in from behind with the 3 Marines to trap the Adept. So he comes in with 4 Marines from the high ground, 3 from behind. Little does he realize he's going to be sandwiching the biggest chorizo he's ever seen in his life. We're talking about, I mean, the sausage of Protoss that's about to come in is going to give him a bad time. The Marines will get good damage on the Adept, but there come the Stalkers. And he commits. He's like, well, these Marines are dead anyway, so we might as well continue. Oh gosh, he's in big trouble. Needs to pull SCVs. Oh, the Stalkers accidentally attacked the reactor. There are more Stalkers coming over as well as Adepts as well. Probes getting transferred right now for Clem. He's chronoing probes to try and build up his income. 3 Marines for an Adept is obviously a good trade for the Protoss. Probe went down as well. It's all about getting this bunker up to cover this ramp. If you can cover the ramp, you might be okay. Interestingly, not being too crazy. Oh, he sees the command center. Great scout there for Clem, and I think a mistake for BYUN to let him up that ramp, because now Clem knows you send a probe to that 3rd base. You go make a Nexus, dude. Then again, does he make a Nexus, guys? Or do you think actually he goes splash damage first? Because I mean, you know it's a multiple barracks play and it could be a stim push, but it's the engineering bay before 3rd barracks variety, which is notoriously lacking any real strong aggressive timings. I think Clem can just go for chronoing probes and taking a 3rd base. Probably 1 more pylon before he goes for that. He's gonna go Dark Shrine. Oh, Clem! He truly is channeling his Max Pax instincts right now, realizing with this build, the factory is so late, there's no starport, you will never build a Raven. You want to rush towards medevacs, which means if you don't have a turret, you're going to be relying on scans for detection. The Stalkers get in and break this position. So many Marines get focus fired. Clem with the perfect split fire on those Stalkers takes out so much of the damage output. The Marauder going down. No, it pulls back. Great pullback there for BYUN. But dude, without the bunker up, Clem has found the perfect timing. Clem doing so much damage with these Stalkers. The Marauder goes down. The bunker finishes and there's nothing to get inside. A whole bunch of Trilly boys standing around holding their junk, looking ridiculous. 2 Marines get inside the bunker finally that just spawned in. But dude, crazy damage for Clem. A 2-gate opening into an absolute slaughterhouse. This is savage. Just absolutely no holds barred. Clem PvT. And BYUN did not have the stuff to handle him today. BYUN clearly tried to play very different to how he's been playing recently. I think he prioritized catching Clem off guard over things that he's best at executing. And when it works, you look like a genius. When it doesn't work, it looks kind of rough. But 20 workers go down. The Stalkers even recall to safety. This is what happens sometimes. When you go, look, his standard game's so good, I'm gonna do the sneaky strategies. I mean, it seems like a good idea. But it's always the constant decision every player struggles with in a tournament. As the Dark Templar warps in, 3 mules just dropped. That there is the GG button. BYUN sees it, raises the depot, starts a turret. And this is not something you can deal with though. SCV on the natural as well. I would not be surprised to see a GG. This is so unfortunate. One of our PiGFest former champions, BYUN here, defeated Dark in the finals of, I think it was PiGFest 2. I mean, that was such a big victory for him in PiGFest 2, but in this time around, running into Clem's Protoss, the thing that has been marauding around all the online scene, ruining so many people's days. And he's up to like 5-gate Robo now, going Blink before 3rd Nexus. Clem just making sure he can defend any sort of desperate SCV pull counter portion. And you can see BYUN's pretty frustrated. Clem's in the zone. Clem went and made a coffee before this game and the little break we had between Game 3 and Game 4. And looking very motivated. If he wins this match, he'll be facing off against Max Pax in the match beyond this. Max Pax, of course, falling to Serral. Serral's already in the semifinals. Oh, here we go. 4 Marines in the bunker. Yachis. Stalkers take out the bunker. He's going to try and pull back there. Marine in the north. Does sneak out. What can BYUN do to get back in this game? I'm actually thinking, guys, I'm not making a joke. I'm trying to think. Essentially, Clem's not making enough mistakes. I'm thinking about all the different mistakes you could try to trip Clem into making. He's not making them today. He hasn't made any big oopsies. I keep thinking he's going to overcommit with his Stalkers, but if we look at Clem like 2-3 months ago, every Protoss fight was him blinking into Marauders and like throwing them away, then doing an excellent fight to bring it back, then blinking into Marauders and getting them killed again. He's gotten so much more careful with how he manages his Stalker control, and I think it's really given him so much more depth to his play. Isn't Clem a bit too young to drink coffee? Yeah, I think he's not allowed to drink red cordial either. The red food coloring sets him off. It's the preservatives and stuff in it, you know? Yeah, if he has Coca-Cola, you know, past midday, won't be able to go to sleep at his bedtime for sure. No, look at him. He's grown up. The Lisan Al-Gaib, man. He's not the young boy that he once was. There's a reason when this guy shows up to conventions, he's got an army of Terrans crouching down around him in a ring chanting, you know? Dude, he passed the Terran Gabar and the Protoss Gabar. I mean, come on, man. This guy, he can see through the melange into the double drop going towards his main base because he's already ready. Look at that. He knew what BYUN was going to do. He's like, yeah, you killed my guys out there. I know what you're doing. I know how Terran plays. I'm Terran as well. I'm in your head! BYUN has to go away, not finding any openings there. Yeah, he is a Caprulu Lisan Al-Gaib, guys. So it's Terrazine, not Spice. It's the Terrazine melange. Bird's going down there. Alright, BYUN's still looking for an opportunity right now. Colossus coming out's a huge problem. He's got to get out of here. Good positioning. Gets a sentry. High energy sentry goes down. Colossus getting some damage in the north. I like the stutter step back on the top for BYUN. He's got a pretty good arc. Pulls back his Marines, but Clem's focus fire on the Marines is so sick. Oh, Clem is always focus firing. You can tell Clem has been traumatized by Colossus focus fire in the past. He always targets it in the center of the Marines. So even when your Marines clump up and pull back, it's actually sometimes bad against Clem because he will just move his Colossus forward and chase the Marines. So sometimes it's better to not control click the Marines at all and just spread everything out, because otherwise you give him an easy target for the Colossus focus fire. Obviously, if you have a lot of Marauders and Vikings that are actually killing the Colossus, it's not as easy for him to chase the Marauders, or the Marines, I should say. But in this scenario where he's got the numbers advantage, it's really scary. You might say, well, what numbers advantage? I mean, he's down in supply. Yeah, but he's got a 4th +2 extended thermal lance against a Terran with no follow-up. Right? There's no 4th command center, no 2nd eBay armory. The thing is, if Clem overcommits and gets caught here, he could be in trouble. But he's just trying to bait BYUN into stimming right now. He's just like, come on. Come on, Terran player. You know you want to stim. And he's just going to stutter step away. Shoot, move, do a fighting retreat. It's what Protoss is excellent at doing when they've got Terran pinned like this. He's died to heroes so many times as the Terran in this exact same situation. Clem knows what to do here. Some of the best micro in this situation in the entire game. Ooh, EMP lands. Doesn't land on the sentries, though. You can see still a lot of energy on those. Maybe landed on one of them, but it had a maxed out energy, so it's still fine. Gonna go for a Zealot drop out the left. Colossus finds a hit, and 4 Marines instantaneously die. +2 Colossus, one of the scariest things in this matchup. EMP on the Stalkers. It's okay, but it's not the best. Shields will regenerate faster than Ghost Energy. Prism comes in. Missile turret for the Dark Templar. Does get some damage on the Prism. Vikings heading back, but not in the correct direction, which means that warp-in's going to finish. Oh, BYUN a little sloppy on the control, letting that warp-in finish. That's a Dark Templar in the main as well. The Bio has to die for the Colossus, but he realizes he can't do that, and Micro at home at the same time. So there are Zealots and a DT in the main base. Tucklab going down. He's going to defend there. His army at the front. 17 SCVs going down, and BYUN struggling to get in control. Look at that. Clem realizes how busy BYUN is on the APM. Pulls the DT back, goes straight back in. Oh, this has been a nasty game for BYUN. Clem being a cheeky bugger. Gonna get one more SCV there, bringing the total up to 23 over the last minute of fighting. BYUN's Viking count is at 8, guys, which I'd normally say is really not bad against 3 Colossus, but with a 4th Colossus out, none of them even bruised. Gonna be hard to take down. Colossus do have 50 more hit points, 50 less shields now, which means the armor helps them out a little bit more. +1 armor not done just yet, though. Bio Viking coming forward. Clem on the back foot with the Stalker Sentry in terms of position. But, oh, big engagement here. Oh, my lord. One Colossus goes down. More Disruptors coming forward. Not enough energy to heal this army after stims, though. Sentry gets energy recharge there. Units lost tab 1,300 in favor of Clem. Still solid on 4 base. When I said he's on the back foot, I meant positionally. He's obviously winning this game quite hard. Double Forge, second Robo. 4 gases mining. Zealots running on the 3rd. They get hunted down. Another 2 Zealots running from the left. Clem just keeping BYUN busy, testing him, poking and prodding. Stim only allows him to get rid of 1 Zealot. Might be time to fight for map control as BYUN send a double drop roaming the map. Kind of unloaded double drop. Don't load up, but, you know, 2 medevacs, a pack of bio. Clear out the northern watchtower, maybe. He does a big double scan. BYUN, he's trying to go for it. It's one big punch, guys. There is no follow-through behind this. He must beat Clem and beat him soon. The Vikings coming forward, but the Stalker's already on top of them. Big stim. The Disruptor shot is going to land, taking out 2 or 3 Ghost. Stalker's trying to pull back. The Viking count getting low, though. The Viking count getting low. That's the problem for BYUN. Disruptor comes in from the right side as well. Watch out for the Disruptor shots. Disruptor shots and Colossus beams on the ramp. It is a Terran slaughterhouse. And BYUN's army stands no chance.